Welcome to First Parish in Bedford, a Unitarian Universalist congregation where we come together every week as a people with diverse beliefs and a shared commitment to bring more peace, more love, more justice, and more joy into the world. Whoever you are, whomever you love, whether you worship one God, many gods, or no God, you're welcome here. I want to say a special welcome to our visitors here this morning in the sanctuary, and we are glad that you are with us today. Here in the sanctuary, you are invited to fill out a blue connection card, which you'll find at the end of the pews. You can give that to one of the ushers during the collection, and we will add you to our mailing list. In Zoom, we will put a link in the chat to a form you can also fill out as your virtual connection card. Parents and caregivers of little ones, there's a nursery available downstairs for your convenience, but we are always delighted to have little ones with us in the sanctuary. After the service, everyone is welcome to join us for coffee, tea, and fellowship in the common room. Visitors, if you see someone with a big red coffee mug, that person is from our membership committee, and they would be delighted to say hello and tell you about our church. I have a lot of announcements. After the service today, you are invited to a special workshop led by Reverend Jamie and Sharon McDonald called the ABCs of Welcoming. This will be a fun and informal conversation about how we can all be welcoming to newcomers on Sunday morning. We'll also talk about how to talk about Unitarian Universalism and crowdsource a UU elevator speech. It's upstairs in the Bacon Room at 11:45. The March Bedford Lyceum is next Sunday, March 1st, at 9 a.m. in the Common Room. Carlo Faulkner Carroll will present what 30 years of teaching violin and one neuroscience class have taught me about learning and community. The Lyceum will also be on Zoom. The link will be announced on Anno. Circle suppers are coming soon, and sign-up starts now. Circle suppers are a great way to get to know your fellow parishioners in small potluck-type gatherings. Volunteers host guests at their homes and make the main meal. Guests provide appetizers and dessert. Sign-ups for those interested in hosting and or attending Circle suppers will take place at Community Hour today after church. The deadline to sign up is February 24th. As the church building will be closed Tuesday, February 24th, that morning's session of the Death Matters series will be rescheduled. Please watch for the Anno Parish Biz email about a new date. That is it for announcements. Every Sunday at First Parish, we light our chalice, the symbol of Unitarian Universalism. We light our chalice today as a beacon of hope and in celebration of this time together. May it be filled with song and fellowship and connection and learning, and may our hearts be glad.
So welcome again. My name is Jamie Hinson-Rieger. I'm the senior minister here at First Parish, and I'm so glad you are with us on this pre-blizzard Sunday. Good luck to all of us. A message went out this morning by email, but please plan for the church building to be closed on Monday and Tuesday and staff to be working remotely, and we will update you with any changes. I'm very happy to welcome our special guest speaker today, the Reverend Joe Murphy, who is Executive Director of UU Mass Action. UU Mass Action organizes and mobilizes Unitarian Universalists throughout the state to take action against injustice and oppression. And First Parish is a proud partner congregation of UU Mass Action. So thank you for being with us today, Rev. Joe. We are closing out a month of services here in February where our theme has been wonder and imagination as a vehicle of hope. And in that spirit, our opening words today are a poem by Nita Penfold, who is also a UU religious educator. It is called First Day of School. No matter what they tell you, let it be about joy. Let it be about the sacred self surviving, no, thriving, shining its way to the wisdom within. Let it be about blooming, the unfolding of the universe through you, because the story of you begins 15 billion years ago with that first flash of being. At 4, you reached out your hand into the dark night and pulled back in wonder a firefly blinking from your finger. Keep that magic, that both you and the firefly are one, everything connected, everything possible, made of stardust as we all are. Let it always be about your shining. Our opening hymn is number 298, Wake Now My Senses. We're going to do all the verses. Please rise in body or spirits. And now will you please...
Good morning. Before I do the reading this morning, I just wanted to thank you all. Jamie mentioned that you all are a partner to UMass Action. You're one of our first, and I wanted to thank you all for being a partner. And if you are not on our newsletter but would like to be, please come find me after the service. Or if you would like to buy one of our t-shirts, I shall get you the link for us. Clearly, you can dress it up or down as you so wish. Our reading this morning is Anecdotes to the Fear of Death by Rebecca Elson. Sometimes, as an anecdote to the fear of death, I eat stars. Those nights lying on my back, I suck them from the quenching dark till they are all inside me, pepper hot and sharp. Sometimes instead I stir myself into a universe still young, still warm as blood. No outer space, just space, the light of all the not yet stars, the awe of it all, drifting like a bright mist, and all of us, the awe of everything already there, but unconstrained by form. And sometimes it's enough to lie down on earth beside our long ancestral bones, to walk across the cobble fields of our discarded skulls, each like a treasure, a chrysalis, thinking whatever left these husks flew off on bright wings.
So, there's been a lot of conversations around here lately about money. We've had capital campaign reflections. Very soon, we're going to have stewardship reflections. So this morning, I'm going to give you my Sunday offering reflection. This past Wednesday was Ash Wednesday, the beginning of Lent. I was at Carlton Willard, where I have a part-time job, and the chaplain, a really lovely person, was going around asking residents if they wanted ashes. After initially declining, because I grew up in a Jewish home, and I'm now a card-carrying Unitarian Universalist, I changed my mind. I told the chaplain about my religious background, and she put ashes on my forehead, telling me that she wouldn't make a cross. She put her hand on my shoulder, and she said a prayer, ashes to ashes, dust to dust, with no mention of a deity. Now, I didn't know really anything about the observance of Lent. My very limited understanding went something like, if you really like mushroom and onion pizza, and I do like mushroom and onion pizza, then you give it up for 40 days. But giving something up creates a space, an opening that allows for adding something like a daily prayer, or an act of kindness, or some small gesture of gratitude. What gesture for me was going to fill this gap? Well, actually, it was right in front of me. I'm doing the offering. Why not make an offering, a small donation, not just on Sunday, but every day for 40 days? Tomorrow morning, in the middle of a blizzard, I'll sign into Breeze, I'll type in my $5, and I'll add 30 cents for the compensation fee. Yes. Breeze will think it's a Sunday collection, even though it's Monday, but I know differently. And then I hit give. It couldn't be easier. And a few seconds later, and this is miraculous, I get an email every time from Jamie thanking me for my donation. I know you're busy, Jamie. You don't need to thank me anymore. So is my donation better than a mushroom and onion pizza hot out of the oven, Well, actually, I think it is. The ushers will now take the offering.
She fell to her knees. She fell to her knees in a way she did not expect. It happened involuntarily. She fell to her knees and she happened to pray for all people and Nancy Pelosi. This past holiday season, I gave a sermon about the carol, O Holy Night. So of course I had to speak about awe, an awe that brings people to their knees, an awe that perhaps makes someone feel small but connected to each other and to a vastness, a transcendence. Awe, that gateway to connection, an emotion that may make us feel small, but also that gives us the connection to forces beyond ourselves and to each other. The woman who prayed for Nancy Pelosi came up to me after the service. She told this story beautifully. I had talked about that hymn, O Holy Night, and the verse of fall to your knees. She talked about as a UU, she didn't experience awe that much, but that she had been to Mexico and she had happened upon a beautiful cathedral. She told this story so beautifully that I was on the verge of tears, until I wasn't. She described going to this beautiful Catholic church and walking in and just being taken over. She saw a depiction of Jesus at the back of the church and went towards him. She approached him and described to me that she clasped her hands, fell to her knees, and she prayed. And she prayed for Nancy Pelosi. I, who was ready to cry, had to reel in my facial expression and inside my head go, her? My head raced with a million reasons why Nancy Pelosi might need her prayers, and I was somewhat shocked with the way that she told this beautiful story and then ended. And she told me, she just said, I had to pray for Nancy Pelosi. That was what the awe and the moment demanded I do. All right. In his book, Awe and the Daily Science of Everyday Wonder, Dagner Keltner, a psychology scholar, defines awe as the feeling of being in the presence of something vast that transcends your current understanding of the world. As Unitarian Universalists, we do not have a dogma or many rituals that necessarily allow us to access awe as easily as perhaps as other traditions. But what we do have is a belief in love, and love is a pretty awe-filled concept in of itself, and we have the people that we have love in to carry this out. Often coupled with awe is a surrender, a letting go, a giving into the vastness, feeling transcendence that you know goes beyond yourself, and thus you have to give into it. Giving up control or possession and allowing for a newness and opening, a feeling so strong that sometimes you will fall to your knees. Gretchen Haley, in an excerpt of a poem to begin worship, writes, "Surrender only to this life, this day, this hour, not because it does not constantly break your heart, but because it also beckons with beauty and startles with delight. Let us find and create that space of awe and beauty and beckon them so that we may startle with delight." I find that my moments of awe are most often experienced with people. In my second year of divinity school, I was going through a pretty rough patch. I was tired, emotionally drained, but I had to go preach. The streets of Boston were pretty empty on a Sunday morning, and I was late, so I was driving fast. Already on the verge of tears, I didn't see someone as they stepped into the street, and though I braked, I hit a woman in the crosswalk. Not hard, but she fell down. I got out of my car, tears streaming down my cheeks. My upper body was shaking. And she slowly got up, looked me in the face, and said, "Honey, are you okay?" That, of course, made me cry and shake more as I reached out to her to help her up and to help her with her bags, saying, yes, I'm fine. Are you okay?" She assured me that she was fine, and we parted ways, with her yelling after me, "I hope you are going to church." And I told her, I'm on my way. And though I was in the car behind the wheel, safely driving at a good speed, I surrendered and I fell to my knees. There is something about experiencing this type of awe that gives me hope. It is a struggle of today's world to not just give in to despair. This awe takes me outside of myself. It takes me outside of myself and lets me look at things with a newness, reminding me of the God that is change, the God that is the spark of love between people, the God that is hit by a car and gets up and says, "Honey, are you okay?" I am reminded that people are flawed, but also can be loving, can be forgiving, can fall to their knees in surrender and prayer, and maybe we need a little of that now. I have a 2-year-old daughter who watches the children's show, Miss Rachel. Miss Rachel often says, "We can do hard things." My daughter has learned this phrase, and in moments where she can sense I am fearful or sad or both, she puts her little hand on me and says, "It's okay, Mama, we can do hard things." Right? Right? In awe. I am in awe. I am in awe of my daughter as her mother, of course, but something else brings me deeper into awe, into wonder. I am reminded that yes, blah, 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 I'm a decent parent, but also there's a core part of my daughter that is a gift from the ancestors. She is meant to be here. We are meant to be here. We are meant to be here no matter how heartbroken and sad we end up showing up. We are meant to be here to inspire, to be in awe, to give up not the fight, but the idea that the fight we fight is alone. On our knees, we surrender, and with new imagination, brought in by awe, we make it known to each other that we will not give up the beauty and that the beauty is worth fighting for. But it is hard to be here in these times. It is hard to be here now, and it has been hard to be here in the past. This is maybe a hard place to be. But I believe not only does our existence become easier when we open ourselves to awe, it is necessary for us to connect to people, the transcendent, and imagination. A deeper connection with each other, a deeper connection beyond us, leads to a wider experience of imagination, and these are great tools in surviving. And in this way, I think we can lead us to not only survive, but to thrive. Awe can be all-encompassing, from feeling awe from natural beauty to a terrible sort of awe at the daily news. Awe shakes us. When I think about other situations I have felt awe, I think about Bryce Canyon and going there with my daughter and seeing the great expanse of canyon and sky, of depth and orange. Awe in the moment was not believing how beautiful it was, not knowing, not believing how this canyon was formed, but knowing that it is true and it is beautiful nonetheless. I think we need this right now. This kind of feeling that expands what is possible and allows us to see beyond reality into a better one. The kind of feeling that says, yes, this is true, even though it is beyond what you have ever imagined or found true. Keep going, surrender to awe, and keep going. And again, there are many moments where I have felt the terrible awe. Almost on the daily when I read the news, the unbelievable atrocities we inflict on each other and on each other's homes and even on each other's children. I have also felt the terrible awe around not my mother's death itself, but the fact that she chose to be cremated and the experiences that came from the choice. Since my mom's death, I have been busily spreading her ashes. I spread her ashes near cottages in Provincetown and Cape Cod, where she loved to look into the ocean and out onto a parade of beautiful drag queens. Here, I sprinkled them near scary shark signs, dunes, and wineries, reminding myself not only of the places she loved, but all the beauty she taught me to love. Her ashes have been spread in so many places her daughters have been, lived, and loved. On the beaches of LA, the American River in Sacramento, a backyard in Malden, Massachusetts. They have been carried to so many island beaches, wineries, and mountains. I have always prized beauty, but not above all else, but more than often for what is given credit for. As a minister, beauty tends to creep into my sermons, a reminder that grief precedes justice, can lead us to beauty, and this beauty reminds us why we fight. A want for awe, as so often it is beholden to beauty. Years ago, before my mom died, we went on a trip to Cuba, an epic trip involving too many mojitos and mishaps, and evenings absorbing the beauty and vastness of the ocean of the Malecón. A year ago, I returned there with a close friend, my daughter, and my mom, her ashes tucked away in my bag. The ocean from the Malecon was wild, crashing against the rock, esplanade, and threatening anyone who dared approach. With my friend holding my daughter and a bottle of rum in hand, I approached the crashing waves. I was already in awe. I am often in awe by the ocean, and this ocean was awe-worthy, terrifying, beautiful, so expansive, and boy, was that ocean rowdy. I tossed some of her ashes into the waves, getting ready for a beautiful spiritual moment, and those waves threw my mom right back at me. The waves came splashing up into my face, scaring my daughter, leaving me somewhere between terrible and beautiful awe. I was in this sort of awe of disbelief. How had my mom been reduced to ash? What does it mean to have your mom come back up as ash into your face? What does it mean that she is really gone and gone forever? But also were thoughts of, wow, this ocean is beautiful, and all of a sudden my breath is gone. Something of a woa and wonder has taken my breath away. In the midst of all this, I felt my mom's fear of the rocks, the rough sea, and the unknown. And then I heard the voice my mom always used when I was afraid. I took a swig of rum, released her ashes into the sea for the second time, hoping they wouldn't come back, and whispered back the words she used to tell me. It's okay, Mom. It is going to be wonderful. In the midst of when we are afraid, when the waves bring awe, but also darkness, a great expanse, and the unknown, let us feel and remember what takes our breath away. Where do you woa and wonder, and where are you most in awe? Find these answers and lean into them so that we can dream beyond the injustices that persist, so that we can connect to the transcendence that brings us to justice, that demands a greater imagination than fascism, capitalism, and violence could ever fathom. Let us be in awe so we remember we are not alone, but connected with transcendence and beauty and imagination. We can imagine, and even better, we can enact the beauty and ensuing awe that we imagine. Not only must we open ourselves to awe, but we do need to create it. It's a tough world out there, and we're not always going to happen across it. We need to try to create awe. Now, the song, My Favorite Things from The Sound of Music, is not necessarily a song of awe, but I find it is a great vehicle, and it is a song I love, and I think it serves well as a song to insert things that bring us awe. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to invite you all for a minute to think of some things that bring you awe, and we're going to do a little patchy version of My Favorite Things. So it might start out of sunsets and canyons and ashes and ocean, and then you can choose to either tell me your words and we can sing them together, or if you'd like, you can just sing them. So take a moment to think of what brings you to your knees, what brings you awe. Do people have some? All right. So I'm going to sing that verse again, and then someone will just pop in or raise your hand and we can sing your words. Yes?
I am on my knees in awe of you and your spirit and your beauty. I am on my knees in awe of you.
All right. So sunsets and canyons and ashes and ocean, the spirit of Joda. Others? Yes. Ooh, newborn babies and star-filled skies. Oceans and sunsets. And moonlight on roses. Winter skies at Christmas. These are a few things that do bring us a couple more. Snow on the trees just right outside the windows. What? A beautiful smile and a warm bathroom tile. Yeah, people? The people who keep fighting in Minneapolis. These are a few of the things that bring when the fascism bites, when occupation grows, when I'm feeling mad, sad, angry, frustrated, etc. I simply remember a feeling of awe, and then I still feel bad, but not alone, and I feel in beauty. I love the words, miracles despite it all. Miracles despite the pain and weight of the world. The miracle of someone, of God, a horde of goddesses coming amidst it all and saying, "Are you okay, honey?" Insisting on saying, "Are you okay, honey?" even if you hit them with your car. Are you okay, honey? Are you going to church? What is more miraculous and awe-filled than that? Let us lie down next to our ancestral bones, spoken of in the beginning of the poem, remembering the miracles of our ancestors, the miracles that have already happened, and the miracles that are yet to come. The miracles, the awe, and beauty despite it all. Amen, and blessed be. If you would now join me in rising in body or spirit to sing our last hymn in the teal hymnal, When Our Heart is in a Holy Place. Drop to your knees and surrender, not to give up, but to give it all to Ah, to give it all to being, creating, and seeing the awe that connects us to each other in a fight for all that is beautiful, for all that is just. On our knees, we surrender, and with new imagination brought in by awe, we make it known to each other that we will not give up on beauty. We will not give up on the beauty and awe that is fighting for each other, never giving up, but just giving in to connection, awe, and love. We extinguish this chalice, this flame of our chalice, but not the light of understanding, the warmth of compassion, or the fire of commitment. Let us keep these in our hearts until we meet again in awe, connection, and beauty. Go in peace.